I'll go, everybody. Good to have you all here. All right, let me just see. Make sure everything is functioning. I'm going to zoom way out here for a sec. And just give it a second for everybody to get in here. Hey, Mainly Trades, Peter, good to see you. Good to see you. I don't know why, but for some reason there's a lag on my metrics, so it wasn't telling me if anybody was in here yet. All right. Hey, Daryl, good to see you. All right, so just trying to see what we got here. We kind of had this little micro range going sideways here. Broke out the bottom. Now we're coming out the top. We did form a new low on this little downtrend. Might form a higher low here. The only problem is we already made a new high on this uptrend right here. You can see it ticked up right there above this level. So this could, you know, we've had mostly a bearish day. We already made our new low though. So we'll see. We'll see. But everybody, happy Friday. Welcome. Welcome. Let's get as many likes as possible today. We are going to go for 50 likes as our extreme goal. We're going big. We're going for 50 likes. Subscriber goal is 12. So 5650 is our subscriber goal. So we're just going to set big goals today and see what happens. All right, so let's go back, scroll back in, see what's going on in real time here. You can kind of see, this is kind of a weird one because you actually have a pullback first entry, and then you get these kind of inside bars that sort of create a second entry, but I don't like inside bars creating the second entry. So you could also look at this like one leg, and this is now forming the second leg, which would give us the second entry. That's another way to view this. You can see that we bounced off this level here a few times. It doesn't really correspond to anything, but you could kind of treat this like its own second entry that's forming here. It's not perfect, but it's there. Because we already did make a new high. So there's a few things to be concerned about there. But we do have a second entry forming, like a more visual style second entry that's on a higher low, bouncing off of this level. It's not really a triple test because this is all one sort of test of this level, and then this is our second sort of test. So I don't love it. I wouldn't be taking it, but it's there. And it actually could form a first entry, second entry short all in one bar. Because you actually have a first entry short. This broke above. So if this goes bearish, it could actually form a second entry short and just trap everybody. So it's just it's a dicey zone right here. It's a little sideways. So that's how it is. Hey, Matt, good to see you. All right, so let's zoom out real quick and we'll talk about what's going on. So what I saw today when I came in, basically we had this little micro down channel right here that got way steeper. And then when we had this little up channel, and then it started to make lower highs and keep going down. So I drew some different channels in here, like smaller ones, but then I drew this huge channel from this high going all the way down. And I do think that that channel was correct. And then you get a close outside here. It tries to make a new low, fails, goes up into this up channel. Then it gets a close outside new high. Then it makes the new low. We form an up channel after that. We get a close outside new high, and that's where we are now. Down channel, close outside new low, and now we're just a little sideways. We already formed our new low, so we might not go lower. Anything else that happens will be its own new trend. It won't be a part of this bigger channel here. So let's take a look. Now, it was unfortunately, even though there's a lot of movement today that went down. Hey, Little Hammer, good to see you. Even though there's a lot of movement that went down, there just wasn't really any great setups till later on. So that's just what happened today. So you can kind of see here, we had this down channel in the overnight. 5:30 in the morning, my time, came right here about an hour before the open. And it was just super sideways. So you can kind of see here, there really isn't any setups in here. It's just so sideways. I mean, the only one that I saw that was a possibility was maybe this one right here. And this is like about a minute or two before the open. Because you have this low here. So you could kind of look at this like a second entry short. Like a failed breakout of the level. I mean, it's there. Could also look at it like a first entry, second entry long failure. But the problem is you had this like kind of bullish channel in place. It's just not really that convincing for me. So I just don't think you can take it. And then it comes down. There's no real setups in there. You get a short down channel, close outside, new low. You do get a failed second entry here. So you have this new high. If you looked at this like a new high, I mean, see, this is the problem. Like, it's kind of a failed second entry, but it's like, this is one of those ones where it's more like of a visual. I should have marked that like that. Here, let me actually relabel that. It's going to be a visual. Because it's not really a second entry long. Because you have this high and you have a first entry, second entry, third entry, fourth entry. So it's not really a second entry long. But if you looked at this kind of like a double top, then you could look at this like a first entry, second entry long failure. So I should have marked it visual. It's more advanced and it's definitely dangerous to go short to that low. But it's probably going to trap some longs who tried to pick a bottom here, who thought they were catching something. And you could see this little wider channel did come into play. Then you get another close outside, and then you just get a first entry there. And it just keeps on giving you first entries, but it's not really a strong enough trend for me to take a first entry. Now, when you get this touch here, you kind of confirm the bigger channel. So then it comes down. Now, this was where I really wanted a short, but I didn't get one because there wasn't a setup. So you come down to this low. You get this little uptrend, and you get a first entry short here, and you basically get an inside bar that creates kind of a second entry. You don't really use that, though. I looked at this all like one entry, and then this as a second entry. But again, signal bar is too bullish. And then you have an inside bar. You just don't get a setup here. Now, I know that in the paid community, there's someone else who uses a different data feed. And they did have a good setup there. So they actually had a really good second entry short there, which is what I was hoping we would get. But we just didn't get a setup. Then we had the news. So stay out of the trades in this news release. It comes up and perfectly rejects off the channel. Just a first entry there. And you can't take it yet. It's still too close to the news. It's within a minute and 30 of the news. Dumps down. And so then at this point, we come all the way down here. And again, it's all first entries on the way down. No second entries. And then you make this low. You do get a first entry here, but and then the second entry is there. You can't take that. Comes up. And then I was looking for a triple test here. This is another one. I had my order one tick below this bar ready to go, but then we get an inside bar, so I canceled it. Now, of course, it worked. But if you let yourself get filled on this bar here and you have an inside bar, you're definitely taking risk because you basically have 3 bars stacked up. It could be congestion. So it works, but it's not always going to work. So I canceled the order. It fails to break out here. It comes back and does a failed second entry short here. You're not looking for one there because this is also an inside bar. It's a higher low, but you don't want to take this because this is already a close outside new high. Hold on. What? My dog is under my desk. Give me a second. What's up, Vinny? Vinny, what are you doing? Okay. Sorry, he was being just a little odd for a second. Okay, so then next thing is that next thing here, let me move my Sorry, I had to move my mic real quick. All right. So we get the close outside. It does make a new high. Now, this is a true second entry because really this isn't really a second entry short here. I mean, you could argue it is because there's an inside bar. I just like to treat this like one leg. So it's like a new low, first entry short, and then this is a second entry short. That's a pretty nice little signal bar. It's only 6 ticks. It's a little dicey though because it closes outside of this channel. And like, you don't know for sure that this isn't just going to go a little further first. So really I was hoping we'd get a little lower high, but the lower high happens all the way over here. Now at this point it's already moved pretty far. So the only reason I marked this, usually I wouldn't mark this, but the reason I did was that we were expecting a new low on the channel and we're really close to it. So it's maybe worth the risk to take a short here, but it's a little dicey. Ends up working. You bounce off this level again, come up. Now, I did take this short right here. And the way I saw this was a new low, first entry, second entry short. The reason I have this little blue line here is that's how I originally had my channel drawn, off of this low and this touch here. So I saw this as a close outside and a new high. But then, I drew the channel a little wider because after the fact, I was like, after I got this scalp filled, I was looking at it and I was like, I think that there might have been a wider channel there and I sort of got away with one. So, that's just what it is. So I don't know if this is really that great of a setup right here, but I'm going to leave it marked because it's one of those ones that's a little bit ambiguous. So I did take it. So I figured I'd leave it, but it's one of those ones where it's not, this close right here isn't the most convincing close. And you can see that I barely had to move the trend line for it to be not a close outside. So I didn't love it. If this closed like down here, then it would have been more obvious that it was a close outside. But anyway, it's there. We get one more leg up to a new high. You don't want to take this lower high, by the way, because it's too close to the EMA. It's already moved somewhat there, and I just don't think I think it's too risky, and it would have been a loser anyway if you did take the lower high there. Because I think at this point you had to worry about that line when it formed like this. So then it makes one more leg up here. I'm not going to mark this because you're picking tops at that point. It goes down. You get a close outside right here. Not the most convincing one. Maybe a close outside there. And then to me this looks like, because you could easily argue. Here, let me see if I could show you. Hold on. For some reason I can't click this channel. All right. You could easily argue that this is kind of more like this. I'll just draw it a little wider. Because it's so steep and it's touching all these levels, you could easily argue it's like that, and that this is like sort of a kind of close outside new low, and that this is 2 legs to a new low. I don't know, that might have moved on me, but either way, this wasn't really a convincing close outside to a new low there. So it makes another leg down, and this is a second entry long, but I think it's a little risky there. But if you look at this as like 2 legs to a new low, you can look to take this because it's all played out. It's made a new low on the downtrend, but it's a high risk setup. Now it's a trap. The reason it's a trap is that you have a move down, a first entry long, move down, second entry long that fails. So everyone who went long on the second entry long right here, they're trapped. It goes 1 tick and immediately fails on them and stops them out. Their stop losses are all right here. So all the people who went long right there get stopped out, but a bunch of people tried to pile on short right there too. And you can see this big bearish bar. It goes 1 tick lower and reverses on them. So all the shorts are trapped as well. They all tried to pile on. So it's kind of like trapped longs right there, then trapped shorts. So it's a trap. And if you saw this as 2 legs to a new low with a trap on both sides, you can look to go long there, but it is very risky. You are picking the bottom there, and you are catching the falling knife to some extent. You're not catching it in the sense of just dropping a random limit order. You're still waiting for this bar to close and going long 1 tick above it with a stop loss 1 tick below, but it's not ideal. What would be ideal is after this, if you got a little higher low right here with a bullish bar, then it would be a really nice setup, but it just wasn't. It just wasn't. So then that went up here, and then close outside, new high of that little channel. Hold on, did this move on me? This seems to have moved on me. Let me fix that. And I will answer everyone's questions in just a second. So then this came up, first entry short, second entry short, failure, but I don't think you want to take a failure there necessarily. You could. Do I want to mark this? I don't know. I don't think I really... Like, look, here's the thing. There's a new low. There's a first entry short. There is a second entry short here that fails, but look at how it's set up. It doesn't break above right here, and then it gives you this weird bar. I just think it's too dicey at that point to take the failure. So I'm not going to mark it. Runs up. First entry. Second entry long, no signal bar. It is a close outside, and we do want a new high here, but no signal bar there for the second entry long. Right here, this is the bar I'm talking about. As you can see, pullback, first entry, basically second entry long above this, nothing. Makes a new high, then it reverses, and then this is where we kind of started. And this is what I was talking about before. We had a first entry. This is a second entry long that looks like it kind of fails, but you have an inside bar, so no setup again. I drew this level as a possibility, but it looks like it's not really coming into play. And now what we would do is start to consider a down channel like this, possibly. So that would be how I'm looking at it now. This all looks kind of like a big range down here, but let's see what happens. We'll see if this turns into an actual channel or not. We'll find out right now, I guess. Did that break lower? 62.50. Nope. Okay. Oh, nice, Daryl. I didn't even see that message till just now, I don't think. Maybe I did. I don't know. All right, everybody. Hit that like button. Let's get more likes on the stream. We want 50 likes today. And, all right. So, mainly trades. Do I have a Discord membership separate from the full course school one? No, I do everything as one. This is the only offer that I have. Here, I'll show you. The only offer I have is this. So it's in my link tree and in the description. It's right here. $99 a month. And this gives you access to the full school membership. And I will tell you that what's included in this, it tells you kind of all right here. You get the complete course, regular updates. You get the weekly live calls. You get daily personalized support. You can ask questions, Q&A, that sort of thing. Live chart updates throughout the trading session, all before the live stream. The new toolkit and indicators that I'm building. You can see up here this toolbar with the ATRs and all that, and some of the other features are already on my chart. So I'm still building it, but you get all that. And then you get access to the private premium Discord. You get access to the library of recorded weekly calls, higher ticket mentorship, and then I was thinking about doing some sort of just Discord only thing, or maybe you could just get the indicator toolbars. Like I don't want to mess with all that and overcomplicate it. I even thought about like, oh, maybe I'll sell the course as a separate thing that's like a standalone, and then you can buy the course separately, and then the Discord membership gives you something. But it's like, dude, I don't want to make it so complicated, so I just kept it simple. I didn't see anything freeze, but... let's see. Yeah, I see what you're saying. There's a measured move. Are you saying that, like, from here to here and there to there, that you have a measured move right there? There is a big two-legged measured move. You are right about that. That is there. There is a two-legged correction in there. This doesn't look like it's going to form into a channel, but it might still. So I'm going to widen this only as a possibility. I'm not saying that this is guaranteed, but I am going to widen this as a possibility and just see what happens right here. But I'll delete the channel if it doesn't work. Oh, did everything freeze? Did everyone hear what I said? Because I don't know. And thank you, Jarvis. I appreciate that, fam. Appreciate that. But yeah, mainly trades. What is it that you were looking for? Because I really think like the Discord membership is not, it's not really enough. The reason I do it the way I do also is that within the Discord, I'm posting a lot of the things that you get in the school membership. So there's not really a way to separate it into different tiers, and I don't want to have different service offerings. I just want to, I found that as like somebody working with people, I'm not good at like changing. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I'm not good at like offering different tiers. And the reason I say that is that like I'm not good at like lowering how much effort I put in for people. So if somebody asks me a question, this is what I found when I was doing the VIP mentorship. I found that it was hard for me to like give more attention to some people than others. And because like if someone asks me a question, I just want to help them. I don't want to be like, "Oh, you're in this lower tier offering, so I have to only answer your question in this specific way." And I just found that it was not, it just is, I'm not good at like lowering my offering. And it's funny because before I was in trading, I owned an agency that did services. I did B2B tech, like lead generation and stuff like that. And back when I was doing that, like when I first started it, I would take on clients that were like lower fee and then higher fee. And I found that like I wasn't good at offering the clients that I was charging less for, like less effort. So I just eventually had to raise my minimums and start with and only take on clients that would meet the minimum requirement because I couldn't lower my service offering. Like I couldn't make like a C tier where I offered like less stuff. I just couldn't do it. I'm not good at that. For me, it's like I just want to help the people I'm working with. So I decided that I was going to keep everything simple and just make it $99 a month for now. And that gives you access to everything. And I will tell you, like, I would probably make more money off of it if I did it the other way. Like if I charged, you know, let's say, I don't know, I'm just going to say like, let's say I charged like $800 for the course, and then I charged this, and then I charged a lower monthly fee for Discord, and I broke it all out and did all this, I'd probably make more money. But I don't care about that. What I care about is like making it simple and helping people. And I don't want things to be complicated. So I decided we'll keep it simple, and that's the way I do it. So hopefully you find that it's a good fit for you. D65. Not very often, but I'm happy to do it once in a while. I'm happy to do it. So I will warn you, D. I will warn you, if I critique your strategy, like, I'm probably going to bring the conversation mostly around to the way that I trade, because I'm going to be doing it from my biased opinion on what I've done before and what I do now. So I will warn you, like, my outcome of whatever your strategy is probably going to be me telling you that the way that I trade is better, at least in my opinion. So I will just warn you that, like, I'm going to have a biased opinion. But if you want me to critique it, I'm happy to look at it. Just do your best to actually explain it pretty thoroughly, though, because otherwise it's a lot of back and forth. So if you want to try to explain it, go ahead and do your best to like give me a nice long description of how you trade. I need to know what time frame. Also, I don't want to even look at it unless it's ES. I don't want to look at like some other random chart. I only want to look at it if it's on the ES right now. If it's like some NQ thing, I don't really feel like pulling up the NQ chart and doing all that. So let me know. All right, so I don't think this downtrend is in play. Obviously, like I keep having to move this. I don't think so. I think we had the downtrend. I think we got the 2 legs. This uptrend is playing out right now. It just looks like a big range now. I think, you know, we maybe need to draw a possible larger range here of some sort. It's not going to look... It's going to be an ugly looking range. But let's just start to draw it and see what we can do. It fits the price action okay. It's not ideal. Let me see. Could there be a failed breakout there? Maybe. I think we just need to draw this big range here. Between this, in this move. Now, of course, it's hard to say if this is really going to be a range. We don't have consistent lows or highs yet. But I'm going to draw it there because it's looking like a pretty serious range right now. And so we'll just keep an eye on it. I will mark up some levels as they happen. Like this level seemed to be some level of support. So if we end up with a micro range in here, we'll draw it. Well, here's the thing I'll say. The course isn't the most valuable thing. Yeah, the course isn't the most valuable thing. So what I'll say mainly trades is that, like, the course is great, but that's just part of this, right? It's just part of this. Because when you get access here, you can ask questions like this. You can drop questions in here and get direct feedback. You can search in here for anything and find it. Because it has really good search functionality. So the school platform is super helpful because Discord, everything gets lost on Discord, right? Now Discord's great, but everything gets lost in there. And so you'll find that this is like super useful. The weekly calls are super useful because they get recorded and put in here. Also, like, you know, the thing is, like, if you have a strategy where you have your own setups and you don't really need the course, why would you even want to join a Discord to get advice on, right? Like, if you have a strategy that works, why do you want advice from somebody trading a different strategy? It's not a good idea most of the time. So that's something else to consider too. Unless your strategy is not working that well, in which case you probably would benefit from the course. And you might learn something different. The other thing is, like, this is something I try to communicate to people. Once you have gone through the course, it's not like there's no value anymore. Like, the value is in the daily stuff. So, like, for example, here, you can see there's 27 posts in here today. This is from today. And these are me showing the actual chart. This is the pre-market, right? Then, like, as the session is going, it's all this stuff. And I explain some things in here. But then also in Discord, there's a whole conversation happening that's also around the current price action. So it's really beneficial. It is really beneficial in that way. And it's definitely worth it. D, yeah, I don't know. Why do you... So I think I've seen you in my chat before. What's your reason for trading NQ over ES? If you're coming here and asking for someone to critique your strategy because you're having a hard time with entries, and you're trading NQ, and you're asking an ES trader like me, maybe you should consider, you know, that the strategy might not be that ideal, right? Where did you learn it from? There's a lot of things there. Like, so where did you learn it from? You know, what is the strategy? Because I can look at it on the ES chart. I just don't want to look at the NQ right now. Okay. Jarvis. Yeah, I appreciate you, man. And that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, it used to be $199 a month. So it's still discounted. And if you lock it in at $99, you do get to keep that price unless you cancel. Now, of course, if you cancel at some point and then I raise the price, that becomes the new price for you. But if you lock in 99, even later on, like, you know, like back when it was 199, there was people who had a lower price and they got to keep that. And that's like, that's a thing that is there. I'm not planning on, like increasing it next week or anything like that. So you're good for a little while if you're still considering, but right now it's only 99. I know that it's worth more than that. Especially, like, I mean, even just the course alone, like I was saying, like I could easily charge $1,000 for the course or something like that. And like, you know, so it's totally worth it. Like I'm actually taking on some risk by allowing people to pay 99 for my whole entire like setup. And some people will just pay 99 and do the course and leave. And if they want to do that, that's fine, but that's not really the full value. You're not going to properly, in my opinion, you're not going to take the course, understand everything in a month, and then become a successful trader from that. The real-time updates are so much more important. So like after you go through the course, the next couple of months is all about watching the market in real time and seeing how I chart things versus how you chart things so that you can follow along and apply the knowledge in real time. And the course is meant to be gone through more than once. All right. What makes me think this mini downtrend is not in play? This. So when I drew it like this originally, like I had it drawn like this, and then you can see this just pushes straight through, and then I had to widen it, and then it pushes straight through. And if like, you know, you'd have to keep widening it. It just doesn't appear to me to be in play. It's just my own experience as a trader. To me, it looks like move down, and this just looks like another big leg down. It just looks like two legs down, and it looks like it's already played out. So I don't really see it as that. All right, let me see, Shelly. So would I expect this? No, I don't think we're going for a new low here. I think this was the attempt right here. So you can see here, 64, 61.25. This one went within one tick of that. So I don't think we're going to get that. We might still come down, but I'm looking at this more like a range, and we're just kind of in the middle of a range right now. This is all just like a big range down here, and we're sort of just hanging out in the middle. So right now, we just have to be real patient and wait to see when we come to one of the extremes what happens. Also, we need to draw short-term trends. This might be a trend of its own right here. This is looking like it might be a trend of its own from this higher low. So we'll see if it is. Now, obviously, the short-term version of this, it already played out. You can see there's a short-term. It already played out. Whoops. My bad. But I don't know. We'll see. I think there might be a little bit of a wider setup here. I don't believe... whoops. I don't believe that there's a... Yeah, I don't believe there's anything like that. Okay. Yeah, for sure, mainly trades. Okay, so no more excuses. No, I've addressed this so many times. No, like, my whole system is not about... I do live trades as they need to happen, right? Like, so sometimes if we're live streaming, I'll take one if there's a really sweet setup. Sometimes if we're on a Zoom call, I'll take one, but that's not the main focus. It's not the main focus. Like, that was never the real focus of any of this. And my VIP mentorship is closed. That was when I was doing a more personalized one-on-one mentorship, like way more involved. And I closed that because I wanted to just focus on making everything just one offer. But like, yeah, like sometimes in like the weekly calls or whatever, sometimes if there's a opportunity, I'll take a live trade if there's a good setup or whatever, or sometimes on YouTube. But that's not the main focus of things. The goal is to help people learn how to spot trades on their own. That's the goal. Yeah, I honestly, and that was never the intention either. Like, I never even used to do live streams. I used to just do these as videos, where I would just do a video each day going over the trade setups that I saw in the morning. But then I started doing them as live streams, so it's like, all right, well, cool. But my intention was never to be like some sort of live public trader type guy. That's not really the intention. The intention is just to trade and then have a community of people that can learn the system. That's really it. Pretty simple. What you should be looking for as a trader, in my opinion, is if you're trying to learn something, what you should be looking for is somebody that has a style of trading that you like, that resonates with you, that you think makes sense, that you want to commit to doing, and you like the person, because you're going to have to be watching all their content, hanging out with them, all that sort of stuff. So, I mean, and you want to have a way of it being like, okay, this is a system that I can learn so that I'll learn how to do this on my own. All right, so welcome everybody. Please hit that like button. We got 20 likes. We're trying to get to 50 today. So everybody, please hit that like button. Let's get the stream out to more people. We're trying to get to 5650 subscribers. So we'll see what happens. All right, so we are getting the second leg here. This is probably a measured move. I don't have my magnet tool on, but it's close. Going to be close enough. Yeah, pretty much. To the tick. Getting a measured leg. 2 legs up. Boom, boom. You could treat this like a double bottom here. So you'd look at this kind of like a second entry short forming. But it's this possible uptrend is in play. You need to be real careful here. It's kind of in no man's land. Not really off of any key level. You could argue that there was a level through here. Something like this. But I think that's like super dicey to really like try to treat that like a real level. So I would be careful here. I'm respecting this little uptrend. Let's go with... No, I'm open to either direction. I am open to either direction, TD. So basically, either way. But the problem is, like, we kind of have this really choppy, rangy action. So I'm not really looking to take any shorts unless we're coming up here somewhere. And I'm not really looking to take any longs unless we're coming down here somewhere. So it's kind of just a period of let the price action develop a little bit more. Because even though we had a downtrend, we already got a new extreme made. So I'm not really convinced that we're going to keep going lower. Now, of course we can if we form a new downtrend. But right now, I'm not thinking that we're going to. I think we're just going to play this range. So I'm not going to consider any like for example, if you zoom out, like we haven't formed any sort of new downtrend or uptrend here that is sustainable. So it looks like we're just going to hang out in this range. Now we could easily come out the top of this range and start going up and have an uptrend. So it's probably going to be mostly mixed here. So we just got to be patient and let this play out. Right now, I'm respecting the short-term uptrend here and seeing what happens. This is that high. This is the previous area up here. So we'll see what happens. But all the highs and lows are inconsistent right now. Yeah, TD, like, here's the thing. Like, ideally in a range. So, here, let me actually show you. So like, if you have a range like this, you want the price to be respecting the levels, right? You want the price to be respecting the levels. Here, give me 1 second. I'm going to pull something up real fast. Hold on 1 second here. Let me get this. Where is it? This is... Hold on 1 second. I have to hide my screen for just a moment while I pull this up. Where did it... Okay. Okay. I think I got it. All right. So, basically... Let me know. Can you see the purple that I'm drawing on the chart right now? Can you see that? Let me know in the chat if the purple is showing up properly. I'm trying to use this tool. But let me know. Do you see that? I'm gonna wait a second and then I'll keep drawing. Okay, sweet. Just want to make sure. It shows that it's showing up for me. All right. Now I'm gonna use another color. I'm gonna use like this turquoise color. Okay. And I'm gonna explain. So, now I know this looks crazy, but here's what I'm trying to show. Let me get one more color here. We'll go with this color. So, in a situation where you're getting consistent highs and lows like this, right? Consistent highs and lows in a range. These are where you can go long off the lows and short off the highs when you get a good setup. Now, there's a lot more complication of how you understand the short-term trend lines and all this other stuff that I'm not going to get into right now because it's all part of how I teach the strategy and everything. But what I'll tell you is that's what you want for a range, for it to be somewhat consistent. Now, if you don't have a range like that, and instead you have this thing where you've got this blue, and it has a high there and a low there, but you see like it's really inconsistent where it's reversing. It's not quite getting to the low of the range, not quite getting to the high. It's kind of all over the place. You just have to sit out until you have a good setup in those situations. Unless you get like some sort of like little triple test in a key area, but for the most part, you're not going to get those. Now, what we have right now is kind of like what I was just drawing in turquoise. Like, I drew this range here, but if you look, we have a high here and a low here. That's it. We don't have really much consistency on this range. Like, you can see, like, all these highs are super random where they're showing up. Like, these ones are somewhat at the same level, right? Then, like, you've got some lows there, you've got a low there, you know, you've got these lows from earlier. There's really, like, if you look at where I'm drawing these lines, there's not much consistency there of knowing where you should take longs and shorts exactly. Like, as the price is coming down, how would you have anticipated that this was going to be the bottom? There's really no way to anticipate that because it's not quite to a level that makes sense. Now, if this price action had come down and lined up with maybe this level, right? And maybe you had a bounce there and then another bounce here and then you get a triple test, then you can look to maybe take a long even though it's not quite down here. But we don't have that. So that's what you have to watch out for. And you know, it takes a lot of patience when you're in a mixed trading range like this because you just have to understand that there's no setups for a while. And that's okay. You know, that's okay. Today, there isn't a lot of setups, even though there's a lot of movement that came down. There just isn't a lot of trades. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I have marked. There's not very many. And there hasn't been a setup in the last hour and a half that I would even consider taking. So, I mean, the one, I know that I think it was Peter took a second entry here. That's maybe reasonable if you look at this like a larger two-legged correction, but it's definitely risky. It's definitely risky to do. I think you could maybe, because it's, again, it's off of like sort of no man's land. So I think that like I wouldn't take this, but there is some reasons to like something there. So anyway, hopefully that's all helpful for everyone. And again, if you're here, please give the stream a like. Let's try to get to 50 today. We need 10 more subscribers to get to 5650. See if we can do it. So we have a close outside and an equal high here. If you draw this level, yeah, see, that's not even, again, we're missing the levels. Like, there's not really a lot of consistency here. So you just kind of have to roll with it sometimes. You got to roll with it. Okay, wait, I missed a couple of commenting questions. Let me see. Oh, mainly trades. Yeah, I trade from I trade pre-market up until the stream starts, basically. I usually take a break around like 15 or 20 minutes before the stream starts. But yeah, I trade that whole session, mainly trades. All right, Philip, you asked, with my style of trading, what commission structure on NinjaTrader do I recommend? Do I find it worth to do lifetime? When I started using NinjaTrader, it didn't have a free version. So I bought the lifetime fee when it, like, I think it might have been cheaper back when I bought the lifetime fee. So that's what I've had since for a long time. But I think that, like, overall, it takes a long time for it to really pay for itself. So I think what I would say is, like, wait to buy, like, you could trade with their free version for a while, and then once you have made a decent amount of money, then you could look to upgrade, right? Because it's like, why invest all that money up front and spend $1,500 if you're not even making money trading yet? Like, I think that it's like I think that you'd probably want to make money first, and then later on maybe buy the license or something. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't really have a good answer. Like, it's kind of to each their own. Depends on how big of an account you use, how many contracts you use, all that. But early on, I don't think that it's really necessary to buy the lifetime license. But I do have the lifetime license. When I was trading, back when I started, I don't think there was a free version. I'm almost positive there wasn't. Yeah, you got it, TD. Happy to help. Yeah, exactly. I think I was talking to somebody about that on one of the Zoom calls recently with my paid community. And I was just saying, like, you know, I don't think it really, like, it takes a long time for it to add up, right? Like, I mean, like, let's do a quick calculation of it, right? I'll pull up a calculator over here. I need to look on my other screen at the actual, let me look at the actual NinjaTrader commission cost. Let's see, NinjaTrader commissions, yes, because I don't remember what they even are now. Okay, go to their all-in. Is it? Okay, so I think, okay, lifetime, no, where is it? Where's the per round turn? Okay, 218. Okay, so you're paying 218 per side, right? So 218, whoops. 218 times 2, about $4.36 if you have the lifetime on a commission on one round turn. But on the free version, you're paying 288, so 576. So 576, right? So let me see, 218 times. Let's see, 576 and 436. $1.40. So you're saving $1.40 on an ES contract. You're saving $1.40 on an ES contract. On the lifetime, $1.40, right? $1,500 divided by $1.40 is 1,071. So you would need to basically, in order to make your 1,500, it's like 1,071 contracts traded, basically, before you would save that $1,500. That's quite a lot of contracts, depending on what size you trade, right? Now, if you trade 10 contracts at a time, then that's going to add up quick. So it really is going to vary. I think on the MES, let's see what the MES is. The MES is 0.65 times, it's $1.30 on the lifetime, $1.82 on the free. So you save 52 cents per contract. So if you're trading MES, it's going to take, it's quite a bit. I mean, what does that work out to be? 2,884 contracts traded before it, adds up. So I just think it's going to take you a while. It's going to take you a while to get there. So I think you got plenty of time. I don't think you need to do it right away. I think what I would do if I was in the situation and there was a free lifetime, or there was a free license version, I would just trade the free version of NinjaTrader for a little while until I'm having success and finding that it's good for me to switch. Also, I would be demo trading for a while at first anyway. So you might as well use the free version and not buy it, because you're not paying commission costs on that anyway. And then over time, then I would look to upgrade when it made sense. That's how I would do it. Nice, Das. Nice, nice, nice. Hopefully that all made sense in my weird way of analyzing the price there. But anyway, the point is, you need to trade a lot of contracts for it to add up and pay for itself over time. Now, if you're doing this long term as a career, then it will make sense. I honestly feel like the commissions are a little bit lame. I think they used to be under $4, or right around $4. So it's kind of annoying that they got jacked up over time. All right, so there was a second entry with a lower high here, but again, it moved pretty far. It's not that bad because this is below this bar. It hasn't moved that far in this case, but like this is not a good signal bar for your lower high, so it's like a second bar there. It's not really very good. Now we are getting a first entry, second entry long here. But again, it's sort of no man's land still. John, you're saying that 2,000 ticks. I don't think it's very popular. I mean, the 2,000 tick chart, the only people I know who trade it are the people who like learned from patch trading. So like, like Mac and TW, myself. There's some other traders I've seen random pop up here and there in my feed that have used it. But it's not very popular. But I will say this, tick charts. So I'm trading the 2000 tick. Tick charts in general are actually popular amongst professional traders. I just don't see very many using this particular value on the ES. There's a lot of like hedge funds and stuff that use a smaller tick value. Like they'll use like a 200 tick chart and stuff like that. But that's because they're doing like high frequency stuff with those. Yeah. I made trades today, not live on the stream. There hasn't even been any good setups since I went live. This is the last setup I saw, and it was literally before 8 a.m. I haven't seen any good setups since we've been live. I only took one trade today, and it was right here. It was this second entry short right here. That's the only trade I took. And that's it. It's one and done for me today, guys. I don't really plan on taking anything else. I'm going to look at the chart, of course. Well, maybe. But we'll see. Probably not, though. Just because I'm going on vacation next week. So might as well end out on a high note. It's been a really good week. It's Friday. No reason to take some random trade when the price action looks like it does right now. So I stream Monday through Friday. And I go live at 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. So about an hour ago when I started, that's what time I go live each weekday. But I will say this, next week, I'm going to be out the whole week on vacation. I will still be checking in with my paid community and Discord and stuff, but I will not be trading. I won't be streaming. I might still drop some YouTube videos here and there that I have. I recorded a few videos so I could post those, but I won't be going live next week. And I'll be back the week after. So after the stream ends today, I'll schedule the next stream, but it'll be scheduled for like Monday the 8th or something like that. Did I miss something? Yeah, Matt, micros, I think it can be done, but I think that, like, it's tough because the micros have such a high commission. DOS, okay, yeah, that's interesting. I don't know much about that strategy, but yeah, a lot of tick charts and volume charts are popular amongst professional traders. Yeah, that makes sense too. I think that because with fibs, a lot of people that are trading fibs are looking at high time frames because they're using Fibonacci's as a way to accumulate positions, right? Like you see that a lot in like swing trading and position trading. Like if somebody, let's say for example, somebody wants to have like a big Bitcoin position, right? What a lot of Bitcoin traders will do, or let's say they want to, or somebody who wants to accumulate, I don't know, let's just say like Apple stock, right? What people will do is they'll look at a really long time frame, like a 4-hour chart, and they'll draw Fibonacci's, and they'll have limit entries at specific Fibonacci levels because they're planning to average in at key pullback zones. So a lot of those traders will use those for the higher time frames. So some traders will look at that as like a possibility of an area where they might want to do business. I found that to not be that reliable overall, but you know, your mileage may vary. I used to use fibs in my strategy. I don't anymore. Range charts. What? Oh, these range charts. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm not a big fan. I just keep everything the same. I just trade this and that's it. STK, there's two definitions of ticks in trading. One is a tick is the smallest unit of movement. So if you look at the side here, you see how I have these numbers that slightly change. Like right now the price is at 64.7175. And then if it goes up, it'll go to 64.72 or 64.7150. So a tick is actually the smallest unit of movement, which means that it is the smallest unit of movement on a chart. So on the ES, a tick is the smallest unit of movement that the chart can move. Like on crude oil, it's a penny, right? It's 0.01 is what it looks like, or whatever. On the ES chart, it moves in increments of 0.25. So that's one tick. That's one definition. But a tick chart is a different definition of tick. So when I talk about a 2000 tick chart, tick also means trade. So what it means is that each one of these candlesticks has 2000 trades that happens before it prints a new one. So that's another definition of tick. So it's confusing. I wish that they just called it something different. I wish that instead of this being called a tick chart, it was just called a trades chart or something, or like a trade amount chart, or just something like that, more specific, but it's not. Be right back, everybody. I have returned. Yeah, no problem, no problem. Hey, everybody that's here, please give the stream a like. We're hoping to get to 50 likes today, have a stream goal celebration. I'm excited because we got Labor Day coming up, Labor Day weekend. I'm going to be going to on vacation and going to a wedding, so I'm pretty stoked. It'd be nice to take a little break, go swim in the ocean. I didn't mean to leave that range up there. So we are coming up to this possible range high. We can mark the level here from the previous high, which is right there, just in case we do break through. Because then after that, man, there's pretty much blue skies ahead. There's not a whole lot of levels up there, so we could go shooting straight up if we get through this, but we'll see. Let's get a poll going here. We haven't done a poll in a while. Let's do a poll. Since it's Friday. Every time I try to do these. All right, we got a poll going in the chat. Everybody vote in the poll. How was your trading week? Your options are absolute fire, lukewarm, or just brutal. Let's hope that we don't get anybody saying brutal. But if you did, I'm sorry. But we'll see what we got. We'll see what we got. Mine was absolute fire. Good week. Good week. Although I will say, I had some really weird stuff happen. So it ended kind of slow. Like yesterday and today were a little slow. Brandon, no, I don't use an algorithm to trade. I do not. I have the Freedom Algo tool suite that I'm working on, which has like stuff up here in my dash or in my toolbar, but I trade with manual price action. Is this your first time checking out the stream or checking out my stuff? All right, so we broke through this level. So at this point, it's really just this high that we're looking at. Well, I mean, that's fine if you're bullish, but I mean, to me, the way I look at it is I let the price action decide. Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing, STK. I'm going to tell you this straight up. I'm going to tell you this straight up. I don't know you. I don't think I've seen your name before, but I'm going to tell you this straight up. If you're thinking about how your week is going to end right now, and you're thinking about what happened this week, you probably shouldn't take a trade, in my opinion. The reason I say that is that every trade needs to be approached as close to unbiased as you can, as a unique opportunity. If you take a trade and you're thinking about what happened to you in your last trade and the one before and earlier this week and all that, you're not in the present moment. And what that means is that when you enter the trade, you're going to have you're going to have fog that's causing you to analyze the situation based on something that is not what you would really want, right? So like, for example, if you're thinking about, oh man, it's a kind of a red week, it's sort of break even, it's not great, all you're going to want is a win so much that you're going to try to look for some opportunity to get that tiny little scalp in. But it's not worth it because you're probably not looking at the market in an unambiguous way and being patient for a proper, unique setup that you're going to manage the right way. You're more likely, if you're thinking about past trades, to mess with your position, mess with your stop loss, mess with your take profit, break your rules. All that stuff becomes more likely if you're thinking about your past trades and you're not approaching each trade as unique. So psychologically, if you're already feeling like that, and this is why most traders tilt on a Friday, because here's the problem. You're already thinking in a way that's like, oh, I hate to end on a red week. I'm not thinking like, you know, all this stuff. What does that mean? That means that if you enter a trade and it loses, you're going to be so tilted going into the Labor Day weekend. You're not even going to be able to trade on Monday. And you're going to be so tilted that you're probably likely to take another trade today. And before you know it, you take a second loss and you just blow up your whole week, right? It's just not worth it. So, like, it's statistically been shown that Fridays are the worst days for most day traders. And it's because of this problem. It's because people are stuck in the past moments versus where they should be, which is in the present moment when they're approaching each trade. So I've talked about this so many times. I have a bunch of short videos talking about it. Yeah, so just, if I were you, I would either just not trade for the rest of the day or, you know, do some work to try to like think about what you're doing there. Yeah, Brandon, process over profits. That's right. Like, you need to identify where you're at psychologically. But like with what you're already saying in the chat there, SDK, like, I'm not trying to pick on you. I'm just being honest with you with what I've seen and what I've experienced. If I'm approaching the day and I'm worried about what happened to me the day before or even the trade before, I'm not in the right state of mind to take the trade. You have to be able to be fully present in every single trade so that you follow your rules and your strategy the way that you're supposed to. So we are breaking through the top here. So let's move this up to this close here. Maybe the range high will end up being this close. We'll see. Maybe this won't even be a range high. Maybe we'll just turn into some sort of a uptrend. Let's measure these legs. So we got a leg here. Leg there. There's two ways to measure this. You can measure it like that. You can also measure it like this. It's not going to really change much. It's just going to change the thing like one tick. So I'll just put this version on. Doesn't really matter. It's going to change the measured move by one tick. So that's the measured move if we go a full leg, pull back, full leg. So we'll see. People ask me a lot, why do measured moves work? Well, the reason they work is that they're basically analyzing how the price moves in twos, but on a larger time frame, it would just be a few candles. It's kind of the idea. It's like the same thing as a second entry a lot of the time, but with larger candles. Oh, sorry. Felt like I needed to get a stretch in there for a second. Sheesh. Am I getting old or what? Oh, wait a second. My bad, VJ, if you're here. Let me fix that. Sorry, I had to respond to somebody from the paid community for a second. No, they're not. They're not. They're not in there by default. The drawing tools by default are all these ones, and then you can add a few more. I have a video on my channel that shows you how you can set up using the free tools. The other drawing tools and like the stuff that's in this toolbar up here, like basically from right here going over, is built into a custom toolbar that I am having built for my members. It's not available to the public yet, but if you go here, you'll see that's why it says right here, Freedom Algo, NinjaTrader Toolkit and Indicators coming soon. I'm currently beta testing it. So I have built out some stuff for everybody. There's some other toolbars out there that you can find that do some of these drawings, but they don't do like this extra ATR stuff. They don't do these like labeling of signal bars and all that sort of stuff. They don't do like what I have here with these color-coded labels and things like that. There's a couple of there's extra features. They don't do this take profit target. Which, by the way, I don't know if you're here. I don't know if you're here, Project Panic, but I will tell you, I had the developer adjust it. So now, actually, this TP is, we have adjustable settings for that. So you can adjust which ATR it's basing it off of, and you can adjust the multiplier. Up to 2 decimal points on the multiplier. So you can, like, change it to, like, you know, whatever, 1.32 if that's for some reason what you wanted to do. So yeah, so it's all set up now. It's pretty sweet, actually. So thanks for the suggestion. And if anyone's wondering what these little numbers are, it's just the size of the candle. So if you see, if I middle click, you see how it says candle size ticks 13, and this says 13. It's just telling me the size of the candle in terms of the height of the low, how many ticks are in the candle. So I know it's weird because it's always a 2,000 tick bar, which means 2,000 trades, but it also means how much space there is between the high and the low. So like in this case, 3.25 points is 13 ticks. Hopefully that makes sense. That's what that number is, because I know people are going to ask. And I just have this turned on my custom toolbar. Let's see. We got 18 votes. Okay, 18 votes. Let's see. We'll end the poll there. Unfortunately, some people had a brutal week. Some people had absolute fire weeks, so that's good. A lot of lukewarm weeks. We had a lot of lukewarm. It looks like a lot of people were lukewarm this week. You know, I'm not surprised because the price action was slow this week. There were some days where it was so slow that it was like watching paint dry. I think it was Monday or Tuesday. One of those days, it was so slow that it was like incredible in a bad way. But, you know, August is just about over. So it usually picks up a lot in September. All right, everybody, let's see. Can we get some more likes? We got 31. We're trying to get to 50. So if you're here and you have not liked the stream yet, please give the stream a like so we can get from 31 likes to 50 likes to have a stream goal celebration. If you haven't subscribed, definitely do that. We are trying to get to 50 subscribers today. We've only gained, I think, 2, so we're this is slow cruise. Yeah, the range tool, I don't know why. It's pretty easy to code. That's the other thing that's weird about this. It's like pretty, like the developer had no problem coding it. Like, so I don't know why NinjaTrader just doesn't have it by default, to be honest. Oh, my bad. There's a, just so everybody knows, like, there's ways, so there are ways to get a lot of things for free in NinjaTrader. Like, there's a lot of, like, obviously I am building out a tool that's going to be for my community that does everything that I want it to do. But I will say this, like, if you just Google stuff, like horizontal range tool in NinjaTrader, you'll find free third-party add-ons that people have built that will probably accomplish what you need. So you can find a bunch of free versions and piece stuff together yourself if you don't want to buy something. Yeah, drawing tool tile. Oh, that's a good idea, Das. That's a good idea. Customize the fib extension to make a range tool. That's a good idea. So let's see. Let's actually try that. So if you make a... Are you saying a fib extension or do you mean a fib? Fib? It'd probably be a fib retracement, right? You could do a fib retracement like this. And, let's see. You could probably... Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. You could probably do this and change the price levels. Right? Let's just see. I'm just going to try something here. See if what Das is saying will work. All right, what if we do that? Well, that right there basically is accomplishing it, right? That's basically a range now. You could change these to not have the percentages and stuff, and then that becomes a range. Oh, okay, extension. Let's see. Well, okay, yeah, I don't know how you would do it with that, but doing it as a retracement would work too. That would totally work. So what I just showed would totally work. But yeah, anyway, yeah, strip out the fib numbers. Okay, cool. I'm sure that if you guys Google it, you'll find a way to do it. I'm not going to try to necessarily go over the top to figure it out right now, but there's ways to make it happen. Yeah, there's ways to build stuff with AI. You're right. You can do that. In lieu of the... Yeah, whatever you guys... Yeah, that's fine. There's a lot of ways to do it. There's also people who've built free stuff. I mean, that's where a lot of this stuff can come from. I mean, I'm pretty sure you search for... Let me see. I'll kind of show you guys. Let me see if I can find it. I'll see if I can find it. Give me a second. Just looking at something real quick. Where is it? Yeah, I couldn't find it, but I know that there's some people that have built like different tools for free that you can find. There's a bunch of stuff out there. You just have to Google it. But it's just annoying having to add a bunch of add-ons from different people and all that sort of stuff. So I just found that I just created something that with what I wanted. Yeah, you're probably right. Like if you use fib extension, like if you were going to measure here, and you took off all this stuff, you're just looking for the 100%, right? Pretty much what it is. It's just a measured move. It's really not, here, I'll show you. Like if I draw, like this measured move I drew right here, if I just go Fibonacci extension, and I just draw it there, and then I go from the low, you see how it lines up exactly with the level? Because that's all that it is. That's all that it is. So what you would do is you would just change the way this looks. You would take everything out like this. Something like that. You could probably take off all the shading. Just showing that like clearly it doesn't really, there's nothing special about, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. There's nothing special about that. It's really just, where's the price level? Visible value, 100% visible. Yeah. And then you could tweak this to like look a little bit different. You could change this. You don't want the opacity. See if I can change it. The anchor, I took the anchor off for a second just to see. I forget what you would need to do, but you'd have to mess with this to change the way it looks. But it does give you what you need. I mean, that's still the measured move from low to high, and it lines up exactly with my measured move. So there you go. You could extend the lines. You could do all kinds of customization there. Yeah. There's nothing special about this tool. Like, it's really nothing special. It's just, like, with the measured move, I mean. Because it's, you can do all the stuff. That's probably why NinjaTrader hasn't built it. Because you can just use some of that stuff already. And you can customize your defaults. But I just like to make life easier. So that's all. That's, like, what I'm doing. And I was using a tool. I was using a version of the toolbar that I had from Pat's at one point. But then I decided to make my own version that is a little bit better. Like, that gives me actually what I need. Like, the signal bar thing here is really useful for me with these numbers. That's, like, really useful. The way that the counter works, the way that the TP works, the way that the triple ATR works. Like, all that stuff's really useful to me. Yeah, my toolbar is not ready though yet. My toolbar is not ready yet. But there are versions out there. You can look up like price action toolbar. There's a version that exists already. That's different. It doesn't do what mine does with the triple ATRs and the signal bars and some of the other features that are built into some of the things. Doesn't have this same built-in labeling. Doesn't have the TP stuff. Like, so there's things that are missing from the other versions out there. So I created one that would do everything that I wanted it to do. Yeah, that was definitely a rejection there. I moved that to be our close. So we have a double rejection of those highs now, which is nice. We're back down past the midline. We need to draw a short term. I mean, that's not really a great. All right. We're getting a triple test. 1, 2, 3 of this blue line. So that's pretty nice. There's a first entry. It's actually going to be a second entry long and a triple test. Will it close outside of this? Possibly. It looks like it's going to. So there might actually be a triple test second entry long here. We'll have to see how this closes. It looks like it's going to form. It's debatable if that's a close outside. DOS. Yeah, for sure. For sure. That's part of, like, I have one that I'm working on as well. That's going to do some pretty cool stuff. And that's the thing, like, there's a lot of different leg counters out there too, and different ways to measure the legs, and it's great for finding, like, second entries, legs of correction, all that sort of stuff. Holly, that's hilarious. I don't know. I that's a funny comment. I don't know how to answer that. I don't really know, like, why would you want to, like, the best way to unlearn is to learn something else and start doing it, I think. But I don't know. I don't really have a planned date or anything like that. I'm keeping the price as is for now, though. So it's not going to be any time in like the next like couple of weeks or anything. I know that doesn't create any urgency, but I don't really care. I'm just telling you, like I'm planning on it just staying where it is for now. But I don't know. That could change at some point. It's hard to say. So, new high, pullback, first entry, pullback, second entry long with a triple test there. Interesting zone. Interesting zone. This is like, I don't know that you really call this a close outside of this little down move. It's kind of debatable, but it's right on the cusp. Right on the cusp. Ugh. Jarvis, just don't go down that rabbit hole. You'd be better off. You'd be better off. It's like this, it's this guy who, I don't, do I even want to talk about it? I don't even know. Here's the problem. If I talk about it, then I'm just like, all that it does is like, I get all these like Delulu people who show up and start arguing with me. Like, I just get people that just come up and it's like ridiculous. Like, it's like this, there's a cultish following behind the type of trading that it is. But basically what it is, I'll give you the, no, yeah, I know that you're not. All right. This is the best I can do to explain it in a short amount of time. There's a guy that goes by ICT who taught this type of trading. And the claim behind all of it, I'll say this, the claim behind all of it is that there's some like algorithm that runs the markets that apparently he created or is involved with that he calls Enigma. It's just this, dude, I don't know how to explain it, but it sounds made up to me, okay? Look, anyway, and then the claim is that there's this way of trading based on this algorithm and based on how the market moves that has to do with like smart money and what smart money is doing. And the whole argument is that like, if you trade the market the way that smart money is doing, then you could take advantage of like these smart money traders or all this weird stuff. And then there's this whole level of there's manipulation and all this other stuff in there. I don't even know. It sounds like an entirely, like, it just sounds completely like schizo paranoid stuff. And basically a lot of it is based on this whole idea that like the market is stacked up against us and it's a whole conspiracy and all this other stuff. And I just think all of it is just totally made up. And they trade with this like type of thing where like they think that there's these gaps in between inside candles that are areas that we should take trades off of and base our decisions on. And all I can say is that I just don't think that any of it is accurate. And I don't think that it's a really great way to trade. And that's all. I'm gonna say it as nice as I can. Maybe it work. I do think that it can work for some people because a lot of the concepts that they teach are based on the Wyckoff method of trading, which is pretty old school. And every trading strategy has some level of discretion. So there is that aspect. Yeah, exactly. It's based off Wyckoff. That's what I was just saying. So if you just look at Wyckoff, a lot of the concepts that are actually taught in the strategy are based on Wyckoff. All the extra conspiracy stuff and changing of words and changing of concepts to make it seem like it's proprietary is just made up though. And like there's a lot of stuff that was just taken from Wyckoff, but then they called it something else, right? And that's the whole thing. And look, the problem, if the guy explained, if the thing is, if ICT was like, hey, I took Wyckoff and I changed it a little bit, then nobody would be upset about it. But I think the problem is when you take a strategy and then just be like, oh, I'm going to change the terminology of something that exists, it's just kind of ridiculous. I have no idea who that is. Yeah, Christian, I got no idea who that even is. So I have no idea. But I can tell you that if you look up the whole ICT thing, they will claim that there's some algorithm called Enigma that they created. That is how the market is run or something. Is there's some whole claim. Just go and just Google it and you'll see what I'm talking about. I can't do it justice, but there's videos out there explaining it and exposing like the ridiculousness behind some of it and all that. And I'm just like, whatever. You guys stay over there and do what you're going to do and I'll do what I'm going to do. I will say this, like every strategy that pretty much exists stems from something else, right? Like I learned how to trade by studying under Patch Trading, which is Mac, and also by learning some stuff from Al Brooks. Like I've shown it before. Like I got the Al Brooks books right here. And then of course I've studied a lot of market psychology books. I've also taken other courses and learned other things that I have kind of thrown away that I just don't use anymore. But like, you know, it's like, did Patch Trading actually create price action trading? No, absolutely not. Did Al Brooks create it? No. Did Mac learn from Al Brooks? Yeah, he learned stuff from Al Brooks. Did Al Brooks learn from somebody else? Yeah, I'm sure he did. And there's always like places that we all learn from, right? Like you could go back as far as like, when did Japanese candlesticks get invented? Because that's what all the price action traders use. You know, that's what all the traders use. So everything stems from other things and we try to improve on strategies and concepts over time. It's just a matter of like trying to act like you've invented something completely unique and then claiming that it's like this like master thing because of some weird algorithm is just a weird way to try to get people into things. And it sucks because a lot of new traders will come into the market and they'll see that stuff and they'll think it's true because they don't know. And they'll be like, oh yeah, like I found this secret society that teaches how to like get around this manipulation algorithm. And I see it all the time, dude. Like every time that I post, if I post like a video or like a short, I haven't been posting them anymore, but like I just post a lot of shorts of me just talking about trading concepts. But when I used to post like actual like short videos of like my chart with like something going on, I would get people who would leave comments that are like, oh, well, that was manipulation and that was this and that was that. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, this is just trapped traders. Like, it's not, there's no conspiracy stacked against you. Like, it's just some people took a bad trade and some people took a good trade. It's not that deep. So anyway, I'll leave it there. I don't want to rant too long about this. I'll leave it there. I'll say this. There's many ways to trade. There's many ways to be successful. My way isn't the only way. I don't think that my way is the only way. I think that you can be an ICT trader and probably be successful with it because it's basically Wyckoff methods and there's Wyckoff traders who are successful. There's clearly traders who can do it. There's traders who can do all different styles. I just personally like my style the best, so I stick with it. And that's pretty much it. No. We're not going down a rabbit hole. It's all good. This comes up from time to time because if you look up the whole ICT thing, like it's probably one of the biggest trading styles that exists on YouTube. I think that the dude's channel has like 1 or 2 million subscribers. Like it's huge. So there you go. And Christian, let me know what I have no idea what you're talking about. So I've never heard of that. Yeah, I've never heard of that, but sounds kind of like sounds like it might be some sort of a Ninja Trader tool or something. Never heard of it. Is that what you trade with? Just curious. Okay. So this was clearly not enough of a close outside, and now we're making a new low. So this level is pretty much burned. So it looks like we're going for the lows of the range here. Yeah, I mean, look, it's all good fun. And I'm not saying anything that bad. Like, I'm not saying anything that bad. It's just it's just like what I've observed. And there's some ridiculous stuff that's happened. Dude, I had somebody recently, like I had this video where, like basically somebody asked me about, ICT on a stream and I talked about it for a little bit. And I just I showed an example of an ICT trade that actually worked, right? But I said, even though it worked, it's not like it was a fair value gap thing or whatever. And I showed that it worked, but I still explained that it doesn't actually mean anything to me. And that's just one example of where it worked. And then I made the video and I put it on like, I put it on my channels. It was like a short video. And dude, I had people messaging me from TikTok and they were like, hey, like, I think you should take that video down because you're talking bad about ICT and you're going to deter traders from actually learning something that's really useful and all this stuff. And I was like, what are you talking about, man? I made a video about how it doesn't mean anything to me in my personal trading strategy and the way that I look at the market. Why should anybody care that I made a video talking about that? If you're that upset about somebody criticizing a strategy from their own perspective, then like you've got a pretty hollow looking strategy. And you know, that led to then people crashing out on me. Dude, it's crazy the level of following that it has. It's like, what are we even talking about? We really, like, we can't criticize a concept without it's like people like crying about it. It's just like, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing on their side. You know what I'm saying? Like, people come and criticize me all the time because I scalp with a negative risk reward, and people are like, oh, you're crazy and all that. It's like, all right, well, who cares? Like, it works for me, so I'm going to keep doing it regardless of what anybody says, you know? Same thing, like if your strategy works, if you're an ICT trader and you're super profitable with it, it's great. Just ignore what I'm saying and just keep doing it. Like, who cares? Oh, classic. All right, anyway. We're still 15 likes away from our goal. I don't know if we're going to hit it, fam. I got to run soon because I got to take my son to a soccer game in a little bit. Sheesh, that's expensive. That's expensive. Yeah, I don't know much. I don't know anything about it. But yeah, anyway, there's all kinds of stuff out there. Who knows? If it's working for people, that's awesome, you know, but nope, I trade just straight up price action. I do this. I draw lines on my chart. I draw imaginary lines on my chart. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But people always say that, oh, trend lines, they're imaginary lines. Okay, all right, cool, cool. Works for me. Vinny is not feeling good. By the way, Christian, this is a different Vinny. My dog's name is Vinny. He's laying next to me right here. He's not in a good place right now. He's not terrible. He's not vomiting or anything anymore. For anybody who doesn't know, yesterday I had a weird... I woke up in the morning to my dog having vomited all over my house. Cleaned it all up. And he has had no appetite. So I think he ate something that he wasn't supposed to, like some socks or something weird, and his gut is stuck. And he's pretty lethargic and not feeling well right now. But I will say, like, you know, his nose is wet. He is drinking water and he's still peeing. He's just, you know, he's not having other types of bowel movements, and he's just kind of like, just kind of stuck. I think he ate something weird. He's been known to eat socks, and then it gets stuck in his stomach. And the other day when he started to get weird, it was, I left the house for a few hours, and I had some people, I had the cleaning crew was here cleaning the house. I'm wondering if maybe he ate something real strange, like some like cleaning rag or something real weird, and it's like causing him to be super sick, and he'll eventually pass it because he's done this before, and this has pretty much been his symptoms when he's done it before. And then eventually, after like a day or two, he passes it, and then he's fine, he eats, and he's normal again. So I'm keeping an eye on him. But he's fine. Like, he's just lethargic right now and not feeling great. He's just laying next to me right here. He's just chilling. But you know how it goes. If you start calling the vet, they start freaking out. They're like, oh, you need surgery. We need to admit him. They did tell you to do all this stuff. I'm like, dude, what? Like, come on. He's a 12-year-old dog. He's done this before. Every time that I call the vet, they tell me he's going to die whenever something happens. It's like they just freak me out even more a lot of the time. Obviously, I'll bring him there if he needs to. I brought him there recently because he's got this thing on his forehead that looks like he's got this non-cancerous growth right here that looks like a third eye. It's like a tumor on his forehead that started to grow like about 6 months ago. And I took him in and they said it was non-cancerous. So, I did take him in for that just in case. But, just like, how it goes. Well, it's always possible. It's always possible. We don't talk about that around here. No, he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine. He's a good dog, and he's been through worse. Like I was telling people, like about a year and a half ago, he was not at my house. He was at my ex's house when I was out of town, and apparently she left out an entire bag of like 40 individually wrapped chocolates, and he ate the whole thing, including all the plastic. And so then I got him back the same day, and I had to monitor him, and he was like literally fine. And the vet was like, he could die, he could do all this. And I just monitored him, and he was fine. He was drinking water. He passed it all. He had weird movements for a few days, but he was fine. He's, that's how it goes. This is the ES, the S&P 500 futures, 2,000 tick charts. DOS. But yeah, he's definitely lethargic. We're just gonna hope for the best. I'm gonna hope that by maybe tomorrow he's okay. All right, let's see what happens here. Close outside, new high, first entry short. We actually could get a second entry short here. We could get a second entry short all at once, confirming the key entry point trend line right off the EMA. So maybe it'll happen. I know, dude. Yeah, for sure. I was really upset when that happened. It was like, I just was like, dude, how could you be so irresponsible to leave that out? It just was crazy. See you, Christian. Have a, take care. No signal bar again. Nah, the snake gets fed rats, man. Snake gets fed rats only. Snake doesn't come... the snake only comes out when I take her out, and I don't let her roam around. You don't want to let a snake roam around unmonitored, because they'll get stuck in places and hide and do weird stuff, and then you don't know where they are. So I keep an eye on her when she's out, but she only eats rats. Hang on a second. All right, my bad, everybody. Just had to quick little thing. Okay, so, well, technically this is a double top here, so this could still be a second entry short below this, but it's not ideal now because now you're pretty sideways and stacked up. Not really an ideal thing. Man, there's just not a lot of setups today, the way that this has gone. Oh well. Oh well. Can't win them all. Can't win them all. All right, second entry short is still, could still be in play. It just depends on what this does here. Nope, too bullish. Too bullish. Let's see. Well, everybody, any final questions? Because I think I'll wrap the stream up because it's getting a little slow. The market's slow. I'll start my vacation. I'll be gone next week. But I will schedule the next live stream, which will be scheduled for not this Monday, but the following Monday. So it'll be on there, ready to go. Scheduled out. Yes, I only use one time frame. It's the 2000 tick chart, 2000 trades per candle. That's what it is on the ES, and it's the only thing I trade and the only thing I look at when I day trade. I mean, I trade longer term time frames for other stuff, but for day trading, this is the only thing I look at. It's the only thing I stream about, really. Once in a while, we'll pull up some other charts and look at some other things, but this is what we do. So there's a second entry there, but no signal bar. So now the only way that you could get an entry here is if we form a lower high that gets really bearish on us. Possible. I appreciate that, Project Panic. Appreciate that. It'll be a good time, everybody. It'll be a good time. All right, everybody, I'm going to wrap up here. I appreciate you all. Thanks, everybody, for being here. I know we didn't get our stream goal in. We didn't get our 50 likes, but that's how it is sometimes, you know? That's how it is. Thank you. I appreciate that, DOS. I hope everybody has a great time this upcoming week. Everybody be safe. And I appreciate you all. I'll definitely still be checking in the school community and Discord. So I'll still be checking in with my paid community and everything. I just won't be streaming or trading, and I'll probably still do a little bit. I'm gonna bring my laptop with me because I'll still have to do some work on the coding of the indicator and testing and whatnot, but it should be all good. But thanks, everybody. I appreciate you all. Have a great long weekend and have a great week ahead.